the ban on campaign activities in Nigeria from today. So that goes to show that from this day, political parties are vying for presidential position, senatorial positions, and of course, members of the House of Representatives position are going to start campaigning today. But little wonder, how come only very few political parties are actually going to set up their campaign organizations today? Like the People's Democratic Party, we understand that from today in Abuja, the campaign organization starts. Now, what about the Labour Party? And of course, what about the All Progressives Congress? Now, for the All Progressives Congress, we understand that they are yet to put their council, their campaign council together. What are the issues? In no distant time, we're going to find out all that. Well, some of the updates as it relates to the presidential election and the the Federal House of Assembly election next year is that here in Edo State, only yesterday, we heard that the Federal High Court in Edo State in Benin City ruled that the candidates that emanated from the election that the National Working Committee held in Edo State, the PDP candidates to contest for the House, the Federal House of Assembly, and of course the senatorial election next year. That is one that has come through. And we also understand that about a few days ago that the faction loyal to Wike at the People's Democratic Party has walked out of the campaign council of the People's Democratic Party. The big question is, how is that going to span out for the PDP at the presidential election? And also, we've also seen some big political bigwigs, leaving their political party only twilight, few hours to the election. The big question that politicians ask is, how come this time? Why didn't they do all this prior to this time? Anyway, to get you acquainted one more time with the candidates as they stand for next year's election, first and foremost, let's see them now. Let's just hear them, even if we cannot see them. First and foremost, we've got Adewale Debayo of the SDP, and we understand that he's a Nigerian lawyer and founder of the Captain Television in Nigeria here. And he emerged as the presidential flag bearer of the Social Democratic Party, SDP, for the 2023 presidential election. And we also have Atiku Abubakar, the PDP presidential candidate, who incidentally is the former vice president in Nigeria here, and he clinched the presidential tickets of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, having scored the highest votes in the party's primary election held in May 28 at the Moshood Abiola National Stadium in Abuja in Nigeria. Then also we have another candidate that is going to be contesting the presidential candidates. We have Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He's of the APC, that's the All Progressives Congress, one-time Lagos State governor, and popularly known as Jagaban, for those that like to use that word. Yeah, former governor of Lagos State, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, emerged as the flag bearer of the All Progressives Congress of APC for the 2023 election in primary election held on Wednesday, June 8, 2022 in Abuja. And he's a two-time governor, and also he has been the national chairman of the party, and the former national chairman of the All Progressives Congress. Yes, then we have Christopher Irene Imomole. He's of the AP, a Professor Christopher Imomole, who claims the presidential tickets of the Accord Party for the general election in 2023. Yes, the AP stands for, let's see now, he's one of the candidates that is going to be running for the election. And of course, we're told that also we have Dumebi Kachiko of the ADC. Dumebi Kachiko, a founder and a chief executive officer of Root Television here in Nigeria. Then we have Hamza Al-Mustafa. He's of the AA, the presidential flag bearer of the AA. And also we have Kola Abiola of the PROP. Kola Abiola, the presidential flag bearer of the PROB. Of course, that's the son of our own late Moshood Abiola, the other son of late Moshood Abiola, who emerged as the People's Redemption Party, that's the PROP candidate, following his emergence as the party's primary election held some time ago. Then, of course, we have Malik Ado Ibrahim of the YPP who is the son of Ohinoyi of Ebira Land in Kogi State. We're told that Malik Ibrahim emerged as the presidential candidate of the Young Progressive Party. Then you can also Google some of these candidates for yourself so that you get to get yourself acquainted with them and know them. It's all parts of the election because today these politicians are going to be rolling out their campaigns, things that they would do for us as Nigerians. And this is going to form the kind of information and, of course, the kind of mindset that we're going to be having about them, how they are going to rule when they are given the opportunity to be the president or be the vice president, as the case may be. Well, to do justice to our discussion this morning, we are so privileged to have two eminent personalities here. When we say politics in our country, these two guys, they know their onions in politics. And of course, they are people that they can also make some political postulations and the reality comes to bear. Well, it's a very rare privilege to have Dr. Peter Costa Owaibi. He's a legal luminary with us this morning. And of course, he has always been the head of political parties, political interest in the diaspora. And as it stands for next year's election, we understand that he's the head of political interest in the diaspora. So you're welcome to this program this morning on ITV.
Thank you very much.
All right, too. And we have Dr. Amos Arelegbe. Now he's very familiar because he actually ran as the governorship candidate of the Labour Party in the 2016 governorship election, an absolute politician, a peace ambassador, and of course, a forensic auditor. Those are some of his designations. You're welcome to this program, Doctor. You're welcome. Now, incidentally, I've got two doctors on the show today. I hope I'll be able to carry on this program. All right, so gentlemen, as we continue this discussion start the discussion this morning, the campaign starts today. Now, this election is probably one of the biggest. When we say biggest now, we have the political parties. All the political parties are major. Somebody actually described it that unlike previously, we say Nigerian election is two-horse race. Getting to know that we have two major political parties. But this time, almost all the parties are major political parties. So we do not actually know how to say what kind of horse race this election is going to look like. But let's look at the campaigns. Now, what do we think? I'll start with Dr. Peter Owaibi. Now, what do you think the political parties are going to be bringing on board this time? Because the electorate seems to be tired of, we'll give you good roads, we'll give you education, we'll give you health care, we'll increase your salary and all that. So what do you think the political parties are going to be bringing on board this time?
Yeah, well, the political parties, which are mostly functional by the political candidates, will be bringing on board this time character and honesty, indispensable character. And then that is how the political class will be able to judge which of the political party will become necessary to be able to move the country forward from where we are today, from these kind of uncertainties, all these quagmires economically, security-wise, and most of these other political parties. We have, to my own thinking, we have three major political parties here that have to be contested with. One of the political parties, the PDP, which is usually associated with fraud. And
you cannot say so, Dr. Peter Owaibi.
Well, okay, let's mind how we'll let's mind how we tailor our discussions here. And then, of course, PDP, which is marred with a lot of electionary dispositional processes based on when they chose their presidential candidate. The quarrel is still on today. APC also, another political party, still has very questionable mark, about the fact of their, disparagable disposition in terms of if you juxtapose these two political parties, APC and PDP, they are in constant, misunderstanding and misfunctional policies. So those two political parties are there. They are old political parties. And their representatives also are very old representatives. That is the flag bearer of the PDP, which is Atiku Abubakar, and the flag bearer of APC, which is Ahmed Tinubu. These are very old war horses who have been in the political system and the political arena for time immemorial. And they have not been able to really deliver on what we have expected from the political parties or from their promises. So by going towards your question, answering your question, what do we expect? What do we expect is that whenever they come and tell you anything, they go back and do exactly the opposite. So that is the expectation. So they are not credible. We are not looking at their credibility right now. As you rightly said, we are fed up of political parties telling us we'll give you road, water, and electricity and other type of things, which they will never give. Now, coming to what we are expecting, as I said earlier, credibility. We are expecting honesty. We are expecting across the board truth of governance. You see, because if you have a bad leader, the political system will be bad. If you have a bad leader, the country will be placed into economic problems, will be placed into a lot of other kind of problems, you know, economically and otherwise. And then the persons who voted these persons into power will be the ones to suffer the bad governance. So we are looking at the other candidate of the Labour Party, who is Peter Obi, has come out with some kind of egalitarian propositions, has been able to come out with a lot of infrastructural items that are going to be necessary to remove Nigeria from this deep sinking quicksand which we have found ourselves, and then be able to elevate Nigerians across board all over the world.
Okay, let me pause you there now. Now, Dr. Amos Arelegbe, we are looking at the situation here. Dr. Waibe talked about old politicians. The way they stand now, apart from some other parties that may not be making the mark, as it were, the major political parties we have now, they are also saddled with old politicians. Even the Peter Obi. Peter Obi is an old politician in Nigeria, except the fact that maybe we may have to look at some other things and all that. Now, what do you think? Let's look at the campaigns one more time. What's the campaigners, the political parties, what are they bringing on board? What difference would they make with their campaign? Let's look at them.
Thank you very much. You see, just like as we're all aware, there are so many political parties, 16 per se, with their presidential candidates. But if you look at the trend, what is going on now, it is more than a revolution. It is more than a movement. It is a set time for liberation. That means we have other candidates, fine. But what I'm getting my point to is what is happening, the fact that is going on now, the trend that is happening now, the Peter Obi movement.
Let's narrow our discussion on the campaigns first, so that it don't look as if we are trying to campaign.
No, I'm not campaigning. We're not campaigning now. Thank you. What I'm trying to say is that the citizenry, the electorate, we've seen, we've heard stories before, and we are trying to liberate from these. I can promise you this. I promise you road. You cannot campaign with road and water and other amenities that is due to the people. It's not what you campaign with. In developed countries, they don't campaign with that. People want good governance. Just like as what my other brother just said just now, they keep on telling you, promising you this, and yet after that they'll go back to their different from what they promised. It's not what it's a time we now have good governance, and thank God for the electorate now. Everybody's eyes is like, oh, we are now seeing, though there are people castigating this man, oh, who is he? But it's the move of God. To me, I see it as the move of God. Because if you go to churches now, if you go to the Muslim now, not only, it cuts beyond tribal region. It is not the Igbo, the Hausa, the Europe. No. It's talking about the good man. His antecedents are there that people can see and verify. It's not somebody that, he lives a very simple life. And once he tells you this, he means it.
Yeah, but I really want us to focus our discussion this morning on campaigns as it relates to the electorate, so that we will not be necessarily supporting a particular person.
Good. Okay.
Now, let me come to Dr. YB. Now, prior to 1999, we used to hear party manifesto. As a matter of fact, our political, few elections we had before 1999, we had a political manifesto. When a candidate stands, if it represents a political party, then of course we need not to ask, what are you going to give us? Because already we are aware that XYZ parties has a manifesto. This is what they believe in. This is their ideology. But as it stands now, we don't have that anymore. Other than the politicians, the flag bearer of these political parties, coming up to tell us XYZ what they will do. Some say, where are the manifestos, Dr. YB? Let's take it up from there.
You see, yes, you know, we have been gradually and properly exterminated by the previous political parties. When I mean previous political parties, I mean political parties that have been running the affairs of this country. And they have been helped by the inordinate, diabolical, you know, permissions of INEC. The INEC has been a major player in being able to formulate and move forward the electionary process in Nigeria, thereby coming up with winners.
When you say inordinate INEC now, how exactly do you mean? Has INEC faulted in any way?
I mean, INEC has been associated with a lot of nefarious activities.
How exactly do you mean?
I mean that they have been accused. You see, there is what they call pre-election process, election itself proper, post-election process. And if you go through this graduation, you will find that at the end of elections, there are a lot of litigants, there are a lot of court actions challenging the process of the election, so challenging the result of the election, challenging the result of primaries, challenging the result of candidates, challenging the result of swapping of candidates, challenging the result of exchanging of candidates. All those are electionary fraud.
Yeah, but I want us to get
by the incompetence, by the diabolical incompetence of
Dr. YB. Now, these are don't you think, Dr. YB, Dr. YB, let us be careful so that it won't be a matter of trying to give a dog a bad name now. Now, it is only natural for politicians to react after an election, prior to elections, during the primaries and all that, like what has been happening, you know, in Edo State for quite some time now. Now we have politicians reacting, going by the various realizations of who becomes the flag bearer of this and all that. It's only natural for politicians to react. Now, can we still then now say that INEC, do you think we can still say that INEC has a fault in all this when politicians are only reacting?
Okay, well, for instance, you know, you do not commit an offense if you do not go against the law. Therefore, you cannot say if we can fault INEC if everybody is going to court to challenge INEC, to challenge its performance. As a matter of fact, the case you mentioned about Edo State now is based on the inability and the faulted process in the participation of INEC in the candidacy elections in Edo State. There's a procedure you must follow. There are guidelines that set up INEC. INEC being set up by Section 153 of the Constitution of Nigeria, as amended, also has a guideline. There are juristic persons who can be sued and they can sue.
Now, Dr. YB, if we are trying to, at the risk of not trying to divert our attention here, but if we're trying to talk about what happened with the Federal High Court ruling, I would say
in Edo State
now, are you trying to say that INEC is at fault in a way here?
No, you see, you do not, you know, interpret court rulings by who is at fault or who is not at fault. You interpret court rulings by their orders, by their judgments. The judgment is the Godwin Obaseki faction is authenticated. The candidates have been authenticated by court. Period. You are not going to be judging it differently.
But are you aware that that case has the capacity of going further?
No, I don't. You see, I know you have been prolumnatic. You know, let's look at it from a, you know, from the point of view of realistic interpretation. If you are going to interpret that, if I'm aware that that case will go to anywhere or not go to anywhere.
No, I'm just only trying to
Yeah,
think
by the judicial process in Nigeria here, by the rule of law, you have a right after judgment from one court you can go to a higher court on appeal. You can go to the highest court in the land, which is the Supreme Court. So, and these things are of rights. They are of judicial right. They are of human right. So the process can still go to
a higher
Supreme
court, so to say,
if there's a dissatisfied, persons in this whole situation. But if the persons are tired of going to court, for instance, the Danobi faction, if he's tired of going to court, then they can well rest themselves on the present pronouncement of the Federal High Court in Nigeria, in Edo State. You don't have to go to court when the realistic is there. The realism of the truth is that INEC processes and their procedure that when they came to Edo State were hugely faulted. They did not go to the hierarchy of the PDP party, which is the governor of Edo State, is Obaseki, or the Anegbeni faction, the Anegbeni chairmanship of the party. They went into some kind of parochial, misguided, misinformed, faulted arrangement, and just came up with names.
Yeah, Dr. Wabi, we do not have the representative of INEC here, so we need to put a halt so that.
Okay, well, yeah,
now, let me quickly let our viewers out there know this morning that they can actually be part of this program this morning because when we talk about campaigns, obviously the electorates are at the center of it all. The electorate, how they perceive the campaigns that they are going to be viewing, that they are going to be hearing, and that they are going to be private to any moment from today. Now, please push a call to 070-83-651-320. We're going to have that number on the screen so that you can call and you make your contributions. You set agenda for the political parties as the campaign starts today. 070-8365-1320. I repeat, 070-8365-1320. Now, Dr. Arolegbe, now, we are looking at a situation whereby we have an election, that is perceived to be a very big election. And of course, we also understand that the electorates are not resting in their hours. But again, the question that we ask is, how prepared are the electorate? Now, you speak from the standpoint of the electorate now. Okay. How prepared do you think they are?
Yeah, the electorate are ready. We are ready. Everybody is ready. It's just that we are waiting for the date to come to pass. Because if you go around now, both social media, both in some meetings, associations, wherever you find yourself, everybody is saying it is time. Because it's either we make it now, this 2023 election, they say it's a decider for Nigeria. So everybody is seriously ready to cast their vote. Irrespective, some people are saying it's no more time for us to collect money from any party or whatever it is. Is this time I want to vote my conscience? The people will ask, are you not telling us that such conscience will not be influenced?
Yeah.
That is another factor.
Okay.
But what we are saying about everybody, the electorate now, they are all saying that it's high time to change the narrative. It's high time we change the principle of what has been happening. So it's high time we want to take the destiny into our hands.
Yeah.
That's why you see everybody now picking their PVCs, taking their, make sure that, yes, I want to listen to this. I made up my mind to campaign for this. This is what I'm going out for this, irrespective of the party. It cuts across party this time around. People are seeing beyond my party. Like in some cases now, in Plateau State, as I showed you that time, you see somebody from one party saying, vote for me, I belong to this party, vote for that person, for president because I believe his credibility. So that's why I said, that's why I said, everybody now, the electorate now, their eyes, I think they want to put all hands on deck to correct the situation where we find ourselves. Because it is said, when you have a good leader, the nation will be blessed. It's when you don't have a good leader, that's why you see problem, you see commotion, you see so many things that is abnormal taking place. So it's high time that Nigerians have to wake up. We used to be sleeping at then, but now we are all awake. We are going to open our eyes, if possible, open our 4 eyes now to do the right thing, to get it right.
Okay. All right. So we have calls coming already. 07083651320. I repeat, 07083651320. Now, you tell us your name, where you're calling from, and of course, please try as much as possible not to mention names of candidates. If you do, I'll cut you off. Just tell us what you expect as the campaign starts today. Hello? 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 All right, we'll take that off now. Now, 070, yeah, 070, 070-8365-1320 is the number. Yes, hello? Hello?
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Your name and where you calling from?
I'm calling from Upper Minister. My name is Osao.
Okay, so campaigns starts today.
Before I comment, this when we campaign with the flag of today, so we are looking at a leader who can tell us that what we can do, not in paper, with action. With action before this, that this is what I can do when I come in. It's not that paper or work. I want to also correct one of my brothers, Dr. Amos. He said that one of the aspirations, I don't want to
you say your own. Hello.
Our president, our current president now, when he was campaigning, we were told that to live a simple life. He has one house. We don't believe others twice again. What can you do for us? That's what we want to hear. Whether I live a simple life or live a simple life, we don't care. What can you do for us to the next level? Thank you.
Okay. All right, thank you. That's the first call that came through there. 070-8365-1320. It's the number. Yes, push a call through and tell us what you expect from the campaigns as they start today. Yes, hello. Hello? Hello? Okay. Now, I took that off. Now, back to you, gentlemen.
Yes.
Just like that, the caller, was trying to say, we've actually seen situation in this country whereby the politicians, some tell us that they have just one shoe, that they went to school barefooted and all that.
He hungry
and when they come into power, they cannot do the needful. So how can the average electorate know that what this guy is saying, what this man is saying now, is not going to be what he's going to do when he gets into that position? Okay. Dr. Waibi.
Yes, there's what they call transubstantiation.
Yeah.
Transubstantiation means, for instance, as human beings we are now, we are made up of vegetables, grains, and maybe flesh. That's all we are. We are nothing else. Though we're able to speak and everything, the propensity that propels us is all about what we eat. That what makes you. And therefore, if you look at it, if you look at the politicians, if you look what they are today, you'll be able to know what they are tomorrow. If you look at their past antecedents, if you look at their past histories, if you look at their past performances, you'll be able to know what kind of persons they are. Now,
Dr. Waibi, the question here is that when a politician tells you that he has just two shoes,
yes,
and of course that politician can afford over 100 million nomination forms.
Yes.
So the electorate is confused.
Yes.
The two shoes you have, is it because you cannot afford to buy more than two shoes?
You see,
or it's just you as a person?
If you look at the electorate, if you look at the questions of this electorate, and of course their handicappedness, they have been heavily, Muslims, heavily shortchanged. As he said, Dr. Amos said, he said the leadership, which is the hegemony. The hegemony of performances of a political party or of a nation goes to bring out the type of result that you expect. We cannot expect something different from a leader who is hardly able to sit down, straight for 1 hour to be able to deliver the goods in government. We cannot expect a leader who is permanently overseas taking treatment, to be able to deliver the goods way back at home here. We cannot expect a leader who is using walking stick to enter a aeroplane while other political parties and political leaders in the rest of the world are jogging into aeroplanes to deliver any goods in Nigeria. But Nigerians will sit back. Maybe not them. They will sit back and see a man who is old enough to be resurrected from death, you know, who's supposed by now would have resurrected, may have died about 20 years ago, they'll be propelling him and also pushing him in all ways to become the leader of a nation like Nigeria of over 200 million people.
Okay. Yes, hello? Hello? Okay, we lost that call. 07083651320. It's the number. You call and give us your own part of the contribution this morning. Yes, hello, good morning. Hello.
Hello, TMI, good morning.
Good morning, nice to have you on the program. Your name and where you calling from?
I'm Mr. Kola calling from Benin.
Okay, now we are looking at campaigns that starts today for the political parties.
It's a very good story in Nigeria to see that campaign is starting today.
Okay.
So my encouragement to those money bags is that if they think they can buy our conscience this time, they are paid already. We know where our hearts belong. So when the time comes, we know where we'll cast our ballots. Thank you very much.
Okay.
We can't continue like this. We want a lasting change in Nigeria. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
All right, and God bless you too. God bless you too. Dr. Amos Arelebe.
Yeah.
Now, over to you now.
You see,
yeah.
You see, in addition to what we've been saying, that caller said, you see, there are some people who will tell you, I have just 2 shoes. Then by the time they leave the office, you see they have dozens of shoes. See, there are factors. Even our present president, he said he doesn't have money to buy phone. People bought the phone for him. But we can see what is going on. Now, one thing he said...
Did they actually say... No, let us be very careful, because this time...
Listen,
because I remember...
When he came the first time...
Excuse me, I remember people contributed to an extent.
Yes.
But did he say that they didn't have money?
He said so.
Yeah. Is there.
He said the phone was
yes.
put that.
Anyway,
Yes.
Go on, yeah.
Now, what I'm trying to say, you see, there are some cabals that controls whoever is there. You understand me now? That's why you see, if a man, I have a manifesto, you get me now? And if I don't have principle, it will affect me. Let's assume I have the heart to serve, and now I don't have the money. Then there are some big wings who now bought the form, who supported me in buying that form. Because I don't have integrity, because my word is not my bond, I dance to whatever they tell me to do. Because they put you as a stooge. Whatever is happening, you just say, my hands are tied. You cannot do anything. Now look at the situation we are facing now. It ought not to be like this. What we are facing in the country ought not to be like this. ASUU strike for that matter. Look at us. We are not. It's not supposed to be like that. Does it mean the educational system in Nigeria is dead? Does it mean our leaders don't have morals for education anymore?
Well, ASUU strike is not just starting now.
No, it's part of what I'm saying.
ASUU strike spans into history.
Okay, now, look at it. Now, if you tell me you don't have maybe 2 billion or 3 billion to pay to ASUU that are protesting, but you can have 300 billion to pay to banditry, then who is fooling who? What are you saying? Now, that's just an instance. Let me not debate from what I want to say. I just cited that. What I'm trying to say is that, you see, when you have integrity, no matter what, because you know your integrity is on the line, the people know you are a principled person, nobody can toss you around. If you tell them, look, you are going to do A, stand by your A. Whoever sponsored you to be there, say, look, do C, you tell them, no, my word is my bond, because your name is at stake. Those that are sponsoring from behind, their faces are not known. Their names are not heard. It is you that is there, that wears the cap, that know what to say. Your integrity is on the line. So that is why any good government, they praise the leader. Any bad government, they hold the leader accountable for it. Just that, so that our leaders, whoever is coming in now, has integrity and must also know that my name is at stake.
Okay. Now, Dr. YB,
yes.
Other parties, apart from the All Progressives Congress, it's at leadership now, the Labour Party, the People's Democratic Party, the SDP, the AA, and all that, they are going to be running as opposition. We do know that the issue of ASUU is going to be one standpoint that these opposition parties are going to campaign with. Now, they are going to tell Electorate that, look, they will give the money that ASUU is asking for, as it were, and all that. But you and I know, let's look at the issue of ASUU. Let's look at the issue of ASUU. Do you think if a political party comes on board now and grants the money, so to say, that ASUU is asking for, the funding of universities that ASUU is asking for, if that party comes and grants it, do you think that tomorrow that ASUU may not go on strike? Because it is only Nigeria that will probably see universities be run by federal government.
Yes, I understand.
Don't you think these universities, I mean, you stay in the UK,
No,
don't you think these universities should be allowed to fund themselves in such a way that government hands off its hands?
It's not a question of what do I think or what not think. We are looking at what is going to be proper.
Yeah.
You know, when we talk about
what should be the ideal thing?
Yes, when you talk about political party politics, leadership, hegemony, and all those sort of things, you know, in Nigeria, we are looking at the subvention of an autocratic, you know, liberalism, you know, which you know immediately erases the functions of a democratic system. You know, if you come in as a democratic government, and then you come into autocracy, dictatorship, totalitarianism, you know, nobody's able to challenge you so much. Because in Nigeria, for it to function properly, before I will come into that answer, the rule of law is supposed to be the bastions of governance. To be the bastions of governance means there will be equitability across board, conversely.
Yes.
Now, but if you look at a system where you have autocracy, you know, totalitarianization, where you come in as a liberal democrat and you start to dictate as a dictator, subversing the rule of law, making the rule of law to be ruled by law. Rule by law means outside the rule of law. Rule by law means you will be selective in your justice system. That is selective justice. You know, a member of your party is a criminal, crookish, known with a lot of money stolen, and you will avert justice and give such person credence as being forgiving of being a criminal or being an offender. Whereas the other party, you are pursuing them with the legal hammer of justice, that it must be done.
Okay.
How do you now expect a country where ASUU has been on strike since, if it's a democratic system, really practiced democratically, such a system cannot uphold itself for more than 2-3 months, because you would be able to come into discussion, debates with different kind of bodies and minds, and then you will do the right thing.
All right,
but
so
as it is now, nobody can challenge them, because if you don't challenge them, they will send you to jail or send assassins after you.
Yeah, Dr. YB, apart from this discussion this morning, our responsibility here is to also educate the electorate so that they open their ears and their mind. Not for a political party to come and tell you X, Y, Z. Now, they are going to tell the electorate that, hey, we're going to solve the issues of ASUU and all that. When you and I know that ASUU's issue is really not just releasing the fund. If they release the fund now, sometime in future, the problem will persist, Dr. Wybe. That's what I'm saying.
Yes, but the perspicacity of governance is doing the right thing, saying the truth to the people, be honest. But you see, when you find people from the beginning, they are crooked-mindedness. They know what they are telling you, the lie is a mile away. But they are hedged on the fact that at the end of the day, they will come back to power. How? By rigging. So, you see, they are not so interested in the people's opinion. You know, they are not interested in people's opinion because they are going to rig the elections. And how are they able to rig the elections? They are able to rig the election either by election fighting, you know, and a bad process of conducting the election fear. They beat fear into you, run away, and then, of course, monetarization of the electoral processes.
Anyway, let's pick more calls now. 070-836-51320 is still the number. Yes, 070-836-51320. You push your call through. You tell us your name and, of course, where you are calling from. Yes, tell us your name and where you're calling from. 070-836-51320. All right, so before the calls come on one more time, we've been able to tell you so far that our campaign starts today, and also giving you some political updates as the program progresses this morning. All right, yes, hello. Yeah, hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. Your name and where you calling from?
I am Honorable Kingsley.
No.
Dimitri.
Okay.
Good morning. There is something I really want to say. You know, when people are talking about the campaign and they're coming to give empty promises, And the kind of promises that you see them give is the one that we say they are giving it just like a man who is hungry. He needs food. He will tell you, I will work in your farm. I'm going to do this for you. But by the time you give him food and give him things that he needs, you find out that he cannot meet up to that expectation. You see in this dispensation that is almost going to elapse now, because some persons were making ministers, they made promises that in their first 100 days in office, they are going to give us electricity. Knowing fully well that this set of persons, that maybe because they have been governors in one place or the other, people decide to vote for them. Or people decide to say, okay, let this person be minister or in this particular office. But all the same, after this whole while, you find out that the first tenure elapsed, the second tenure now 3 years has gone, just remaining few. Then they are not saying they are tired, they are tired. What I will actually suggest is not you saying this is what you will do, this is what you will do. Let us see what you are going to do in your first 100 days in office. Things are not going well the way they are expected. You see, us who have been on strike, children have been at home doing nothing. And nobody is feeling it because their children is not in Africa, schooling in Africa rather. You see them that they will go to other countries. In Benin, people keep saying, it is your own place you want it to rain so that your crops can grow. But nobody is doing anything and nobody is being held responsible or accountable for anything or empty promises made. So I will pray that if this campaign starts today as they are saying it, let's just see what they are capable of doing.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. You made your point. Now, Dr. Waibi and Dr. Amos Arelegbe, as we conclude now, on a final note one more time, the electorate, how can they decipher a workable campaign, campaign and a non-workable campaign?
It's easy because the system right now is brass. We should be dependent, on the functionality, on the credible functionality of INEC.
Okay.
You see, we should be dependent because you are supposed to have polling agents, right? These polling agents are supposed to investigate and examine your documentation and the process before the elections in the polling units. If INEC decides to be like fishy, and they are supposed to bring in their papers and electoral forms, voting forms at a particular time and hour at a particular polling unit, and then of course they compromise that situation and come in late, and at some point they come in with shortage of documents and materials. They first of all frustrate that success of the elections, and so INEC should be put to proper check and balance, so that they themselves, first and foremost, must be upright and prudent, in their own dispensation of their duties. Then two, the electorate in the past were used to monetization of their conscience, buying their conscience monetarily. I don't think that when you give somebody money and the person accepts it, doesn't mean he will be able to do anything outside his conscience. You cannot perform outside your conscience, even when you are giving money.
Okay. All right. So, Dr. Amos, quickly.
Yeah. You see, just like what he said, we should be time conscious. Because if you say election starts by 10 o'clock and accreditation starts by 8 o'clock and 1 o'clock accreditation has not started, people get tired and they get fed up.
And they get out.
You get me now? You see some of them leaving the polling station. Maybe it's a place where you're supposed to have about 20 or 30. Because they've wasted so much time, you will now see them leaving.
But for an electorate that is so determined,
leaving about 10 or 9 persons remaining. But this time around, people are ready to wait.
Okay.
People are ready to do the right thing. People are ready to stick their neck on it that this time we'll do it. Okay. And again, one thing I always advise, we should avoid we should avoid violence. That's one thing. You shouldn't say because I'm in PDP, he's in APC, we see ourselves as enemies. No, we should rule that one out. Okay. We should see ourselves as brothers.
Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you so much, gentlemen. And I think what we also need to tell our electorates, tell our politicians here, is to try as much as possible to avoid campaigns devoid of most of character assassination now, and of course calling names of candidates here and there. It's not the proper thing to do. It's not the right way to go. Now go to the people, tell them what you have to do, what you want to do. Now for the electorate, for the people, please, if there's any way you can know that this man is lying, that this political party is lying, is telling you what is not realizable, please do bring that on board so that you know. Because it's better for you to know the man that is lying at the very beginning than for you to know the man that is telling.
Sorry to quickly put in here.
Yeah.
You will know a man that is lying because he has always lied before and he's still lying.
Anyway,
if a man has told you, if a man has told you what he can do or what he will do, and today he has not done it and he will not do it, are you still going to look at that person as being credible?
Anyway,
no, that person has assassinated himself by his own pronouncements.
Anyway,
didn't come to pass.
That's the program for today, this discussion segment. I want to say a very big thank you to Dr. Peter Costa Owaibi, a legal luminary and of course head of political interest in the diaspora. A very big thank you for finding time to come on the show today. And also Dr. Amos Arolegbe, one-time governorship candidate of the Labour Party, 2016 to precise, and of course a political head in Edo State here. A very big thank you for finding time to go. All right, so the program this morning on ITV is still on. Please stay tuned.